Hello, friends. Welcome. This is Whitney Kobrin, love coach and owner of Heart Hunters Love Coaching. And with me today, I have a good friend of mine named Claire, who is an image coach. Claire, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yes. So my name is Claire. I'm an image consultant and style and color expert. So I help female entrepreneurs who are really struggling with their image and they're not confident with what they wear. So I really help them to gain visibility and boost the confidence from the way they dress, from not getting the judgment of what other people think. So that's what I do. Thank you, Whitney.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So happy to have you here today, Claire. Thank you. And today we're going to be talking about raising your inner and outer radiance. So I'm going to read a quote here that I just love. When a woman experiences her own beauty and the joy of feeling comfortable in her own skin, she radiates light. When a woman is connected with her own love for herself and her self-worth, light radiates out the pores of her skin. I just love the definition of radiance because it really is about shining your own individual light. And in our modern society, we talk a lot about appearance and beauty and image. But what Claire and I have both agreed upon is that it all starts from the inside. It all starts with how you feel about yourself and how you are able to portray yourself. And then once you have this magnetic radiance, it's not only about looking great, but it's about being able to draw in everything that you want in life: friendships, a romantic partner, dates, um, the career that you want, all of your biggest dreams. When you have this inner radiance, it's just helps you to manifest things so much faster. So, and one of the things that I find is when I'm working with my clients, they really do change from the inside out. They have a completely different idea of themselves and what they're capable of by the time that we have worked through a lot of the limiting beliefs and fears and blocks to their love life. And what I find is when they emerge out of this tunnel as their new version of themselves, they often want to change their outer appearance too. And so that's why I thought this was such a great conversation for the two of us to come into together. So, Claire, I'd love to just get your 2 cents on that. Do you think that it's important? Do you find that people you work with are also changing on the inside and then therefore they're creating a new wardrobe or look or some sort of change that reflects the inner change on the outside?
Absolutely. I think what you started with that beautiful quote is I think everything got to start from the inside because when you start shine and glow from the inside, then outside eventually it becomes a bonus word, right? And it's really, I think often we forget about, our inside and the people put on the outside, but you feel empty. You just know that there's something is missing in the inside. But again, there's often that people, like when they work on the inside and then they feel like, okay, I'm really aligned, but there's still some part of the confident level is missing, which is the outside. And I think that's what is important more than ever, finding the right alignment and really work from the inner beauty and the outer beauty is more important than ever, because at the end of the day, you got to feel comfortable with your own skin. And that radiant, that glow got to start from the inside. So that's what I believe, like the inside and the outer side really work together hand on hand. And you can really miss one of the other.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you find is the most important or the first thing that you start with when you're working with someone's outer image or appearance or outer radiance?
I believe that in the past, even some of my clients I have worked with from previously, often is that they are afraid of letting the past go. So they hold on a lot of things from the past that they know even is no longer serve them, but they still want to hold out that memory. Especially, we talk about the clothings. They tend to, keep the things from the past, and they just somehow feel like one day at the moment, when it doesn't matter even they lose weight, or they always feel like, you know what, I can still go back, I can still wear those clothes. Even in your mind, that I'm not going to wear those clothes because those identity are from the past. But often women are just afraid of letting go, and then they want to move forward, but they're still kind of in the trap of like where they are right now. And there's still a bit afraid, which we talk about the fear, like that transformation process, because as you're evolving, and then your personality, the way you show out your image start to glow. But sometimes we're still just a little bit scared and afraid of like, okay, what if I move forward and I'm changing myself completely, would I still recognize myself? And that is one thing I find a lot of women, when I have worked with, even have consultation, they want to make that change. They want to embrace themselves, but there's still something that is kind of holding back. They're not unable to just kind of break through that entire moment. So that is what I find in terms of like some of the people and client I have worked with.
I love that. You touched on so many things. I mean, one of them is, in order to embrace a new version of yourself, you have to say goodbye to the old version of yourself. And I find that this is harder than people realize. And it's not until they're face to face with it that they realize that this is even going to be a challenge. As sad or upset or frustrated or stuck as people are, we crave the familiar. And so to let go of what's familiar, even if it's a better life, I mean, think about, I work with people in their love life. So for you, it's letting go of their old clothes or letting go of old makeup. I'm guilty. I have makeup that's probably 10 years old. It's probably not even good to put on my face anymore.
Right.
Probably never use it. I'm going to go clean that out later today. But I have gone through transformation with my clothes, because I've had clothes that reflected an old life, an old living situation, an old partner, an old career working in corporate, which I don't anymore. I can let go of some of that, some of those more constricting clothes and high heels and those things. But it's so fun to get new things. And another thing that I thought of while you were talking was the scarcity mentality versus abundance, and holding on to our stuff, holding on to our clothes, hoarding, making sure that we have enough. It's often just part of this scarcity mentality, right?
It's true. I think you touch a point, like holding things on. And then it's not just about clothing, but, like clothing, it's part of the identity, because we put clothes on every single day. And, like from the moment when you wake up, you have to shift that mindset. So just talking about, yes, we know that the whole last 18 months, we've been living this pandemic, and it's been a mindset change, because like we used to do that social face to face, and then started from the COVID, we were home the whole entire time, so you lost that motivation, right? And then you just didn't feel the ego of changing up. But that's the thing, because when you wake up in the morning, you shift your mindset, you get that morning routine, you make the change, you put clothes on that make you feel so good right away, that vibration, and in your mind you're sending good positive vibe. And then often, like it's not just about putting clothes on, because we all put clothes on, but instead of thinking passively putting something just because, I need to go out, or I'll just put whatever, something that is oversized, but you don't feel good from the moment you put that dress on or you put the clothing on. It does change. It really shift your mindset of how you want to feel from the moment of the morning and then throughout the whole day. But when you actually be intentional and then make that preparation of changing and wear something that made you feel so good, that doesn't matter. It can be the color, it can be, something really fit on your body. Right away, you're sending good positive energy into your mind, and you're giving that good, I would like sugars, you kind of like giving that sugar coated, and it makes you somehow feel like, oh my God, right away when I was just like, even before getting on the show, I was wearing more like, my, maybe just my loungewear, my legging. But once I start to change, I put that little bit of makeup, that vibration, that radiant, that somehow that kind of just empower me. You know what? I am ready to conquer. So that's what I think clothing, it has such a strong power. And it's not just about like, we are okay to hold things on, but you also want to always make sure that, things that you hold on, is it still speaking who you are? Is it still align your identity as your current lifestyle? Then if not, then why are you still holding on those old clothes? Instead of just, sometimes the best is like letting go and you can move forward. And then instead of being passive by putting things that you don't enjoy, why not try something and give it a fresh perspective, wearing something that you can start to embrace by baby step, little by little. So that's the way how I see in terms of like, letting go and trying things. And instead of saying no, why not try to say yes?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah, when you put something on that you really look good in and you feel good in, it increases your confidence. And I know I feel that way when I look good and feel put together. It's part of my morning routine. So I'm a big fan of morning routines. I have all my clients create a well-being checklist so that every day they're doing things that are good for their well-being. So when I wake up, I work out. I have my tea, I have my vitamins, I shower, I drink water, and I get dressed for the day. Even if I don't have meetings, or even if I'm just having some casual meetings, it just helps me to feel good, feel like, okay, I'm ready, I'm all set, I could do anything now. I could take on something unexpected even. Um, but I love what you said also about taking a risk. One of my core values with my business is being bold, because so many of us, we live in fear, we're shy, we're afraid, we don't want to approach someone or go on a date with someone that that we have this timidness. And so with the boldness, one thing that I shifted quite a while ago, I remember being at the airport and seeing this woman that just looked so polished, so put together among a sea of people who are in their sweats and and not giving a crap. And I remember thinking, I want to give off that image. I want to feel from the inside out, not some fake shell, not some fake appearance, not a fake smile, but from the inside out, I want to present myself as someone that is approachable, put together, professional, kind, caring, and radiant. And so now it's funny, when I go to the airport, I'll almost always like dress really well, and I'll wear stuff that's comfortable. I'm not going to wear heels, but I want to portray myself even among strangers, that of about I want to portray myself in the same way that I feel on the inside, which is bold and abundant and radiant and special and unique and fun and exciting and adventurous. And so, yeah, that's what I do. I find it fun to dress myself in that way. And then it also helps to bring that out, right?
Totally. I think that because you touched the about the personality, because personality is the biggest part. And often that I think we try to hide our personality, right? So let's say if you know who you are, the more you know about your identity, your personality, then it gets easier to dress up who you want to show and how you want to basically show to the world, right? So for example, using your scenario, so you went to the airport, you saw this lady and you started to picture yourself, hey, to live life boldly, then you also need to look at, okay, if you're wearing clothing that's always black, your majority of your clothes, you have up to 80% of like black clothing. Nothing wrong with black. If that is who you are, that really present your personality, then by all means, go for it. But if that is not what you really are, in terms of like, you're someone who's more bubbly, who's very talkative, and then you love like talking to people, then wearing black, it doesn't really showcase your personality. So that's what is really important. How are we using the clothes that we own, and how can we portray our personality? And especially when it comes to, like dating, relationship, right? And in different scenario in life, the first thing that come down to is impressions, because people don't know you, and the first thing is that they graduate is your image, the way how you dress up. It can be a little bit of everything, the way how you wear your hair, could be your smile, that lipstick color you put on today, or some particular way of your personal style, and that really captured the attention. So I think that's what is important. How can we live life boldly and more freely? Then of course the choice of what you put on, that really talks about who you want and who you want to attract. And that at the end of the day, everything you put on, the way it's from the moment you walk out your door, the more you know yourself, it gets easier, because you can actually just like stop caring what other people think. And even you go from the day, it doesn't go so well, but you feel good about it because you feel sexy, you put clothing on, you show out who you are. And I think that's what is so important. It's always about wearing something make you feel comfortable, make you feel confident, and at the same time you can be yourself and have more fun.
So, what about if someone's trying to be bold and they're going out on a limb and they find some crazy pattern or bright color? I know a little bit, not nearly as much as you, but about finding colors that fit well and what shade or season you are. And there's all these rules that a lot of people probably don't know. So what is your advice or guidance on how to be bold yet still do sort of the right thing, or not make colors that wash you out, or
right
what do we do there?
right. So I think I'll just share a little tips, because it is a very big topic when it comes to color season, what color look good on you. But I think in general, like I always encourage people I work with, my clients, start with a baby step, right? So I always give them a test. Think about when you were kids, and then your teacher will ask you, what is your favorite color? And then, and then you start to have lots of, like, you have a piece of paper, you have crayons, you always pick up that favorite colors, right? So it could be, blue, it could be purple, whatever. So start from there, ask yourself, what is your favorite color? And then once you know, then we go on to the next step by identify what is your skin complexion. Are you a warm tone? Are you a cool tone? Or are you neutral? And by knowing what is your skin complexion, it helps easier to narrow down, okay, what are the colors really good on you? I mean, having colors is all about having fun. I'm not saying that you cannot wear different colors, but it's more about like knowing what colors to avoid and what colors really bring out that radiant and glow. And that all come down, what is your seasonal colors, right? And then also understand the fact, okay, that you're cool tone, for example. So you're probably not going to go for something that's very orange, because it can make your skin a little bit wash off, which makes you a little bit more dull. So it's all come down to that baby step. So I always say, like, for people want to try colors, even they go on dates, instead of they always wear black, they always wear black dress, because that's like typical. Most people going on a date, what should I wear? Let's go for black. So instead of going black, and black is not really speaks of your personality, you really want to try a little bit color, spice it up a little bit, then go start from that. What is your favorite color? And then does it work for you? Does it look good on your skin complexion? And then the next thing, once then it makes it easier. Then you can really tailor those colors, always look good on you. And then obviously find out, what is your body type, what can really flattering you, but not overpowering. But at the same time, you also don't want to feel like, you're showing off too much of your skin if you don't feel comfortable, right? So there's always a way of like knowing who you are, and all come down to, we'll talk about the more you feel secure, the more you know how you want to show up, the more confident you have. It makes it easier when you dress up. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And especially when you start from the inside, because sometimes just putting on some amazing outfit when you inside really don't feel the self-love and the confidence, it can be hard to pull it off. And, people say fake it till you make it. Okay, you could try that, but faking it is generally not what I recommend as a coach. I want people to really feel it and really evolve and change. But the two go hand in hand, the
I
inner
do.
growth and change and the outer growth and change. And so I actually have a client now who told me that she's in her 30s and
Okay.
has clothes in her closet that she's had since middle school. And I was,
Wow.
you need to talk to my friend Claire and do a closet refresh. And she said, I didn't even know that was a thing. People do closet refresh. Like they'll help me throw out my old clothes. I was like, yep. So she was really excited. She's looking forward to working with you. So also, since you brought up the idea of dates, and since I am a love coach and I help people while they're dating as well as their online dating profile, this question comes up a lot about what pictures to use on your online profile. So I'd love to talk about that for a minute because I think that people get it wrong so many times.
Oh,
And
yes.
do is they just go through their phone scrolling and they're like, oh, what pictures do I have of myself? And they pick some picture that they have to like crop out the guy's arm around them, or
Oh,
they're in a circle of 10 people and you can't even tell who they are, or
right.
it's just they don't create photos with intention. So my advice is always you need at least 4 pictures, one close-up face that's very flattering that you're looking.
Profile photo. Mhm.
Yes, profile photo, one full body photo, points if it's you doing something you love, like an exercise or activity or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. It's nice to have a picture of that. That would be the third one if it's not already included in your second. And then it is good to have one picture of you with other people. That way they know you're not a loner. I've
I
seen
love that.
some guys' profiles where it's all selfies. It's like 4 selfies and they look exactly the same in every picture. And the guy looks like a total loser. And you have no idea because we don't know what this person's personal life is like. But just the way
Right.
they're portraying their image, they're like, I'm alone all the time and I don't have anyone to even take a picture of me. So what people don't realize is that just by going through their phone and picking whatever photos, whatever selfies they have, they're portraying an image. And this is kind of an important first impression because when we are doing this online dating thing and we're looking at people's pictures and swiping, that's the only part that they can see so far. So you need to put your personality into it. So any tips or suggestions that you have on what to wear or photo shoots or image in those kind of pictures?
Yes, I think that is a great point because I think like you gotta think is the end of the day, you're trying to find love, right? And it is a process, it is also a job, but it's a fun job, right? Because you're putting yourself out there. And from the moment everyone look at your profile photo. So definitely, like you want to make sure that your headshot it's really clear, it's not blurry. And often because these days people just put whatever photos. And if you want to attract love, you also want to make an effort because vice versa, when you put effort, the other person you're going to attract is also looking the same quality. So I would definitely say like really make sure that your profile photo is really like clear, no blurriness, because people want to see your face and then, having a bit smile because it should not be serious. You're not going for a job interview. So that is definitely one thing when it comes to profile photo. Lifestyle photo, which you talked about, right? You want to show a little bit like more about your lifestyle because it's a way of how people can feel even it's online. So if you're someone who's really spontaneous, and you love also doing yoga, meditation, why not show this part of you? Because that's who you are. So you want to let the more you put out there, the more I will say information. Of course, you don't want to show too much, but you want to show just enough, but not hiding away. So let's say you're someone who's really sporty and you love going out, then you can show those lifestyle photos. I think that way the person you're trying to attract to can kind of get the vibration of who you are. And I love the fact that you say, no, don't just do selfie all over. Definitely, because I think that having a smartphone is great, but you want to also just kind of show a little bit. I think sometimes selfie makes it a little bit cool because you don't even know, okay, what type of this person is. And then there's so many filters, and then nowadays we're really looking for, yeah, we're really looking for the real person, the real, you want to be authentic, but people are like, what is authentic? When I say like authentic, meaning being true to yourself, being sincere, and then really showcasing who you are. So it's okay, you have one selfie, two selfie, but you don't want to have selfie all over when people go to your profile. Oh my God, this guy or this girl is obsessed with him or herself, right? That can be a little bit too much. So I think that those little details is just really showcasing who you are, but definitely that profile photo with a smile, and really also make sure the background, because sometimes that you want to make sure that your background is not too busy and it's not too fussy. So it's really all about showcasing that profile photo, and then people when they look on your phone right away, oh hey, I love Whitney's smile, oh my God, that the hair, her hair is beautiful, it's not covering her face, it's not too much makeup, I can really see, and that radiant again it glows from the picture. And those little details really makes a difference when people are on those like dating apps. That's
Yes.
my some suggestions.
You're so right. And about the background, it's funny that some people don't realize that their background portrays an image as well. And if they're just taking a picture in the bathroom or at the gym, it's very, very generic. And one of the things that if you are online dating, you do not want to be generic. You want to stand out. You want to be unique. You want to catch someone's attention. You want to be different. And the more that you can be authentically you, even when in your own weird or quirky way. If you say, I'm obsessed with pickles, I love pickles, like something weird about you is really good to put out there. I've seen they teach guys that to get more matches, because girls typically have a lot more guys that like them online, but guys can really struggle to get girls to like them online. And one of the reasons is that they all look very generic. They all kind of look the same. And one of the tips that I have is, aside from just how you dress, it's your background. If you're in front of someplace that looks plush and fancy or luxurious, or girls appreciate beauty and aesthetic, and they would like to see a guy who's in a setting like that or out in nature. They don't want to see your house that has plain white walls and no art, or a bathroom or a messy place. That's such a turnoff for anyone, men or women. Yeah. So what else? We were talking about the online profile and what to wear. I think it's important to wear something you feel comfortable in, but something that's a little bit dressy. I think just like they say, dress for the job you want. And we want to portray ourselves in a positive light, maybe not our best light. If you're totally done up, then you should also have a photo of yourself, maybe with no makeup on. Those are totally okay, because you give the person the idea that you have multiple sides to yourself. You're multifaceted, which we all are and should be.
It's true. Yeah. So I think, I mean, since because people start with the online datings, right? And then with the virtual, and then now, of course, they will probably do the Zoom, right? So my tips is, when you're doing that virtual encounter in the first time, for girl, of course, come down to, like, dress something that can be very feminine, whatever your personality is, right? So let's say if you're someone's a bit more feminine, you can play with like little details such as like putting like a lace top, for example, and then a little bit jewelry or accessory. I find that hair clips or using like hair accessory, it's another way of like showing who you are, because it's virtual, but there's an emotion. It's, like the way when you talk to the person, people can feel how energetic you are or how cold you are, even in this virtual world. So you really want to spark them, let's say you can't meet the person yet, and then, but you like sparkle, then why not wear something sparkle? Can be your earring, can be hair accessory. It's a way of getting that moment across, if that makes sense. You want to put chemistry can develop even as virtually, and then when you have fun even on the virtual day, and then somehow the guy would like to have a second day with you virtually until when you actually do it in person to person, right? So I think that is a really those details, instead of like, I'm on a virtual day and then okay on the phone, and then you're wearing like, nothing wrong with t-shirt. Don't get me wrong. I wear t-shirt a lot when I'm doing my yoga, right? But when you're going on a date, think about, are you gonna do when you're doing virtual and when in person? It really doesn't make that much differences, even though the only settings that you're home and then you're outside. But again, when you actually, again, back to what we talked about, making an effort, because you want to have a good impression, right? You wouldn't want a guy come and do virtual Zoom setting with you and then the guy is like topless, that is just not attractive, right? So vice versa, the guy is like hair's messy and then it doesn't make you feel good. So I always try to think the way how you want to put yourself out there, what kind of image and impression you want people to remember you as, then do that. Because in that way, when you prepare yourself, then that's when you're gonna get the right guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very helpful. And anyone that's watched anything of mine or has worked with me know that I talk a lot about masculine and feminine energies. And I do advise anyone who feels feminine on the inside to portray that more on the outside. And especially if you're looking for a masculine partner, the more feminine you can portray yourself, the more masculine, the more that the masculine will be attracted to you and magnetized to you and see and appreciate your radiance. So, Claire, thank you so much. I love this conversation. I love the marriage of your inner radiance and confidence, and how the outer appearance and radiance go hand in hand.
Yes, definitely. Well, I want to say thank you so much for also giving me an opportunity just to share some of my favorite topics and just to really help more women, to feel confident. And at the end of the day, when you feel confident, you feel so aligned with your inside and outside. That radiant really show, and you can really attract what is meant to be and what is really ready for you. And then the universe, when you're ready, you put the voice out, then the universe will somehow attract the person that meant to be in your life. So I want to say thank you so much once again for your time and give me the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Yes, of course, Claire. And if anyone's interested in finding more information about you or working with you to improve their own image or style, how can they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on social media. They can find me. My handle is Claire Image Coach on social media like Instagram and Facebook. And from my LinkedIn, they can find me as Claire Chen and the founder of the Image Consulting, or you can just email me, pretty straightforward. But I would say the best way is just like DM me on Instagram, because I'm always like active there, and that's the best way to get hold of me.
Okay, Claire Image Coach on Instagram, or Claire Chen of Image Consulting on LinkedIn. Awesome, thank you. And my website is hearthunterslovecoaching.com. I have a free training up there right now for a limited time. And I'm also offering strategy calls. So if you are having trouble in your love life and want to talk to a love coach, go to my website and you can apply for a free call. Thank you so much. Thank you, Claire.
See you next time. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.